Hello and welcome to the Man United post-match review show with the Armchair Pundits. It's your boy Monts, and yeah, we got our first back-to-back win at Anfield. What a result. But before I get into this, I want you to do what you know you need to do. Press subscribe, click that follow button, press that like button. Make sure you're following us on all the platforms, Insta, YouTube, X, and TikTok. I always forget that last one. But yeah, man, I'm in some real good spirits, can't lie. Coming into this game, I wasn't actually shocked that we got the early goal. I was positive that we were going to get a point, but a win, yeah, that's beyond my wildest dreams. For Amorim right now, I would say that was definitely a statement win. Our first back-to-back, as I said earlier on, you couldn't hope for much more than that. The way that we defended, we were resolute, we were resilient, and we showed some serious character out there. And Lemens, come on. The guy stood up, man. He made a couple of key saves, key moments. I'm not going to lie, the Anfield post helped us a couple of times through Gakpo as well. But yeah, man, for me, this ain't going to be a long post-match at all because the boys done exactly what they needed to do. They went to Anfield. They made Mo Salah look average. Van Dijk looked meaty, like I've always said he is. And yeah, man, we just done what we're meant to do, which is pick up points when we're on the road. So let's start it with the lineup. When I first saw the lineup, not going to lie, I was a little bit apprehensive. No out-and-out striker. But in my mind, I thought maybe the tactic is to have constant moving parts. Because with Šeško in the number 9 spot, you'll find that it's not really fluid up front. He's only going to be winning flick-ons. He's our target man. When you got Cunha, Mbeumo and Mount up in the front 3 position, there's going to be constant moving around. So yeah, starting at the back, your boy Lemens, excellent performance. Back 3 of Shaw, De Ligt and Maguire. Maguire be the centre of the 3, obviously, due to his mobility or lack thereof. You had the deep line midfielders in Casemiro and Fernandes. I'm not going to lie, I was quite shocked that Casemiro was in there because he did play a lot of minutes away in Brazil, or for Brazil, should I say. And I thought just because of the mobility in the Liverpool attacking midfielding side of things, I thought Casemiro would probably catch a cold, but he done well today as well. Out wide, we had Diallo and Dallo, left and right. And the front 3, like I spoke about earlier, we had Cunha, Mount, and Mbeumo. So, yeah, we started well. 63 seconds at Anfield. Popped the ball over Route 1. And Dijk goes literally and cleans out McAllister. And he tries to clean out Mbeumo as well, but Mbeumo managed to somehow get out of the way. As clumsy as Van Dijk is, he's obviously bundled into both of the boys. Mbeumo's managed to get up and run past Van Dijk and another one of their midfielders whilst McAllister was pretending he was hurt on the floor. He probably got a little graze. I don't know. They were doing a lot of things afterwards. But anyway, Cunha's picked up the ball, popped the ball around Diallo's picked up the ball and popped the ball around the corner to Mbeumo, and Mbeumo, first time strike, hit near post. Mamash Dilly, you shouldn't be, as a goalkeeper, you shouldn't get beat on your near post. But yeah, it's a good finish, 1-0 United in under a minute and a half. Can't believe it. Elation, absolute relief. And that's the first time this season that United have scored their first chance in on goal. Honestly, there's been so much opportunities that we've had to really take the pressure off the rest of the squad earlier on, but we just don't take the advantage of it. So today we did that. Well done to Brian for being resilient in there and yeah, getting us 1-0 up. Really aggressive, really direct. After that, if I'm honest, it was pretty much all Liverpool. We had 1 or 2 opportunities where we had a little chance at goal. I think Bruno had an opportunity where the ball comes in, he gets it set to him outside the box, he comes in and literally levers it and it comes off the post. The keeper was rooted, he just couldn't find the target. For me, 2-0 up at that point, and that would have been against the run of play, we would have definitely been flying. But unfortunately, it stayed 1-0 and Liverpool then decided to pile on the pressure. I would say that Liverpool were very, very wasteful in all their possession. And I feel like had they have had the killer instinct that we know Liverpool to have from yesteryear or even from last season, it could have been an ugly day even after 1-0 up from United. It could have been an ugly day because honestly, the post must have saved us about 3 or 4 times in, and that was just from Gakpo. Yeah, 3 or 4 times from going a goal or two down. So yeah, man, they were really, really unlucky at times. But again, when you've got elite strikers, you expect them to be finishing, it's bread and butter. So yeah, they didn't have their shooting boots on. However, it didn't come to much people's surprise that United went into the first half 1-0 up. End of the first half, I felt like we managed to keep Liverpool at bay. And I knew that coming out to the second half, it will probably be a very, very different game. Now, coming out, United were probably trying to slow the game down, where we got 2 yellow cards within about the first 10 minutes of the second half in Casemiro and Diallo. And for me, those were more or less tactical. Diallo's one probably wasn't so much tactical because he just went in for a full-blooded challenge and caught Gakpo a little bit. So maybe it was a little bit careless on his half. But Casemiro, he was trying his trickery and he done a little bit of tripping. So he ended up catching himself a little yellow. I also feel like he's probably getting a little leggy in there. But in that challenge, he also got injured. So that resulted in him getting changed out for Ugarte. Honestly, there wasn't a lot of stuff going on there. A lot of it was Liverpool. United had the odd chance going forward, but there was a lot of resolute defending. I've got to be honest. And, in games where you really feel to yourself, we don't deserve to lose today, and I don't think United deserve to lose. I feel like the way that we were defending really galvanized the team. The saves that Lemens was coming to make, when he was coming to claim the ball and really just, there was one time the ball came up in the air. He went to collect it and it was just behind him, but he still managed to grab it and go down, really smother the ball and, wind the seconds down as you would want him to. I mean, you couldn't ask for much more. It was a proper professional performance. So as United do, we ring the changes in around 60 to 70 minutes. So like I said to you earlier, Ugarte comes on for Casemiro through the injury when he got his yellow. Dorgu comes on for Diallo and Mount comes off for Šeško. To be honest, Mount today, he didn't really do much for me. I feel like he was a little bit missing when we was going forward, but I feel like he maybe have been in the team just to keep busy, just to close things down and maybe not necessarily be an attacking threat. But for me, he was very quiet today. Now, when we made our changes, I feel like that probably prompted Liverpool to make theirs. And they made a couple of attacking changes in McAllister, Bradley, Gravenberch, all came off for Jones, Wirtz, and Ekitike. Now, within minutes of Ekitike coming on, honestly, it was clear to see that he was going to shoot at every moment he had. He was going down the left-hand side where Gakpo was operating for the majority of the game and literally cutting in, back on his right foot, shot. Back on his right foot, shot. And he came close a few times, but close ain't good enough. They then decided that they were going to take off Isak, who again probably had a couple of opportunities running into the United box, but nothing that you would worry a goalkeeper or even a defence. I think there was one last-ditch challenge from Shaw, I believe, at one stage. But again, you expect it when your defenders are having an impeccable game, pretty much. But yeah, so Isak came off because, he was ineffective. Chiesa came on. Now, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit worried about Chiesa because he has this thing at the moment where he's been coming on and been changing the fortune for Liverpool because of how direct he is. And he's very unconventional when he's in possession. 5 minutes after he comes on, he drives the ball across the box and Gakpo gets a tap in. That was probably Gakpo's fourth or fifth chance on goal, but this time it was from like 3 or 4 yards out. There was a little call for offside, but when Dorgu went to close down Chiesa, his foot basically was out wide enough for Gakpo to still be onside, and it was 1. Now at 1-1, I said to myself, do you know what? 72 minutes gone. What, we got 10 minutes left, 20 minutes left? I'll take that all day. The way they would be defending, I don't think that would give another opportunity to Liverpool, even though on every attack, they had a minimum of 5 attacking players in our half. Maybe, I think at one point it was even 7 or 8. I still fancied us to kind of get out of here with a draw. Now, when you see that Liverpool decide to put Van Dijk up top in a number 9 position, more or less, for the majority of the 20 minutes that were remaining, you could see that they meant business. They were going in for the kill. 1-1-1 enough for them. They wanted to finish things off. And rightly so, because they probably felt like they deserved the result, but where they weren't clinical enough in front of goal, I feel like, it wasn't going to be their day today. So Gakpo scores the 78th minute. United get an opportunity in Liverpool's half now, where I'm thinking to myself, can we get something out of this? Ball comes out to Bruno. Bruno, first time, dinks the ball back to the back stick, and who's there? Maguire. Headers the ball back across goal, 2-1 United. For me, the game was done. I saw at 2-1 that we definitely were not going to let Liverpool score again. United ahead for the second time in the game. Liverpool, you can see their heads completely dropped. Amorim, his cheering was paused because he turned around. He wanted to get Manu on and wanted to get Euro on, get Shaw off for tired legs, not out of performance, because to be fair, that's probably one of the best games I've seen him play this season so far, and get Bruno off, because outside of him providing the assist for the Maguire goal, I feel like any goal that Liverpool would have scored would have probably have come from him making a mistake in the deep line 6 role, or even just, not being clinical enough and trying to do cheeky little knock round the corners instead of retaining possession. So yeah, by rights, he didn't have the greatest performance today. So Bruno off, Shaw off, Manu on, Euro on. Let's secure things up, keep possession, and keep it going. Frimpong came on for Salad. I mean, to be fair, Salad could have came off at half time. He was ineffective. He had 2 or 3 chances that realistically he should have got on target. He should have been a bit more composed in the box. None of the above. He was horrible today, and I feel like he stunk at the joint enough for him not to even be disappointed to getting dragged off. He got dragged off with 5 minutes to go. Frimpong got brought on, and when Frimpong came on, to be fair, him versus Dorgu, that battle, it was a nice battle to watch, but it did definitely create 1 or 2 opportunities for Liverpool towards the end of the game where Frimpong went down the wing. He's beaten Dorgu. He's dinked it to the back stick. Gakpo is basically in between 2 defenders, but he's on his own. He jumped up. He's headed towards an upper goal, but completely missed the target. So, to all the United fans, relief. Great way to end the game. Another missed opportunity for Liverpool. Another way to reinforce that they're not having the same kind of quality of season that they did last year. United have knocked their unbeaten run off the Anfield perch, and our first statement back-to-back win under Amorim. So yeah, go on the boys. So go on to the player ratings. I think it's only right, and I'll start from the back. So first of all, we got Lemens. I'm going to give Lemens a solid 8. I feel like the goal wasn't his fault. Everything outside of that was exceptional. I don't feel like there was no goalkeeping mistakes today. I can't give him a 9 because a 9, for me, he'd only deserve that if he got a clean sheet. But outside of that, he really had an exceptional performance today. Maguire, I'm going to give Maguire a 9. Didn't put a foot wrong today. He scored the winner. He was exceptional. He commanded the back 3, which is what I would have asked him to do a couple of games ago, but he wasn't able to. And yeah, he really put his best foot forward. So well done, Maguire. Luke Shaw, I'll give Luke Shaw a 7. He done well today. He kept Salad quiet, as you'd expect. Salad didn't have much of a good game today, but either which way, you got to play the player that's in front of you, and he done exactly that. He kept him quiet, and the same with Isak also. I'm going to give De Ligt a 7. I prefer him central. I do feel like he's more effective central, but he had a stellar job today in the right side of Maguire. Going to Diallo, I feel like Diallo had a massive influence in us going forward. I think we definitely could do with him getting into a good run of form. I think like he deserved to get a goal today because he was just, like he looks mischievous when he's got the ball. He's going to create or, get past someone cheekily and, maybe get on the end of something. But unfortunately, he didn't get a goal today, but he did have a good performance. I'm going to give him a 7. Casemiro, I'm going to give Casemiro a 6. Now, the only reason I'm giving him a 6, 1, he got a silly yellow. 2, I don't feel like he really affected the game too much. And he was almost a passenger in there alongside Bruno, who's also going to get a 6. Both of them for me, they played okay. Yes, Bruno got an assist, but outside of that, I can't really remember anything. And, the missed chance that he had. Outside of that, I can't really remember any other ways that 2 big names in the squad have made or affected the team. Dalot, I'm going to give Dalot a 7. No, you know what? Dalot's getting a 6 for me. Again, he was okay, not amazing. But yeah, he done all right on the left-hand side. And on to Mason Mount. Yeah, the only thing I can say about Mason Mount, I think I touched on it earlier. He didn't really have much of an influence in the game. I don't think he affected anything going forward and nothing noticeable defensively. I feel his selection was based on mainly his recent run of form and the fact that he's pretty consistent and steady. Unfortunately, he gets a 6 today. Don't think it's going to be something that he would want to remember. And with that performance today at Anfield, however, going to Anfield and getting 3 points and being being selected as a starter would definitely be something to put in a portfolio. In Mbeumo, for me, he gets an 8. He made his presence known within 63 seconds of arriving to Anfield in a United shirt. From there, yeah, he continued to be pretty positive in possession, and he was very resilient and strong defensively. I thought he probably deserved more than a goal today, maybe another goal later on in the first half. However, it wasn't to be. But again, I feel like he was the reason why United were able to rise up and really kind of put their best foot forward with scoring such an early goal. So yeah, for me, Mbeumo definitely had a great game today. And last but not least, Cunha. Well, what can I say about Cunha today? He deserves a 7. I feel like he was great in possession, especially when, the game was really tight and Liverpool were on the ascendancy. He, on more than one occasion, managed to retain possession even with 2 men closing him down. And there was a few opportunities where he tried to release Šeško and even the likes of Cunha, the likes of Diallo and Mbeumo on the attack. However, he didn't get any assists or, any goals today. And I feel like Cunha's still searching for that goal to get him up and running in a United shirt. But yeah, his performance today deserves a 7. He definitely put his name down and put a good account for himself today. So yeah, that's it for the ratings from me. I think there's only a few things to say today. Amorim's got his first back-to-back win. Could be no better place than Anfield to start that. We're looking on to the 3rd game now. Hopefully he can be 3 back-to-back wins. But this one, we're going to sing from the mountaintops. United, United, United. Long may it continue. This is your boy Monts. Make sure to follow. See you next week. Peace.